Hello, friends. My name is Ravi, and you're listening to the Why Not IAM YouTube channel. This is the first part of the introduction episode where we are going on a journey about the different aspects of IAM. One of the most asked questions is what are the different domains you have in IAM? What are the different roles you can apply for? How is the hierarchy in different organization? So, based on my experience, I want to share collection of different domains that I have seen relevant with all the organizations that I've worked and the different roles and responsibilities that you aspire for when you're trying to get into IAM. So, important thing, IAM is just not about engineering or operations role. It is more than that. Enjoy the episode, like, share, and comment down below if this is very helpful to you. And definitely look forward to more such episodes in the future. As I said, this is the first episode where we talk about the introduction, domains, the different roles. The next episode, we'll talk about the basics of IAM. And from there, we move on to covering a lot of different areas around the IAM fundamentals. Here is the master roadmap for identity and access management. There are 6 domains overall. First one is the identity governance and administration. The second one is the access management. You have privilege access management, public key infrastructure, cryptography, directory services, user repositories, and security and compliance. Let's talk about what are the different tools that you can see in each and every domain. When we cover the identity governance and administration, you must have worked on tools like SailPoint, IAQ, IDN, Savient, One Identity Manager. When you talk about access management, in access management, you can divide this into 2 segments. You have the workforce IAM and you have the customer IAM. Under workforce IAM, you have worked with tools like Okta, Ping Identity, Microsoft Azure, Entra ID, all of that. Then when you talk about the customer side, you have again Okta Auth0, Ping Identity has its own ping for customers, and then ForgeRock. But these are not the exhaustive limit. There are various other tools as well, which we will be covering in our future product evaluation sessions. Then let's move on to the privilege access management. Under privilege access management, you'll be working with tools like CyberArk, Delinea, Beyond Trust, and so on and so forth. But I'm just covering some of the market leaders. Under PKI and cryptography, you have DigiCert, Global Sign, Symantec, CA, a lot of the other certificate providers. Under directories, you will have Radiant Logic, Microsoft AD, Windows AD, LDAP that you have been working with. And security and compliance doesn't have a tool, but then when you talk about this domain, the professional under security and compliance are primarily working towards ensuring that the organizations are compliant with GDPR, HIPAA, SOX, and so on and so forth. So this is where we have covered the overall domain structure and the different tools that you would use in every domain. Now let's move on to the different roles and responsibilities that you can apply for, aspire for, and the career hierarchy that you can plan for in working in various different organizations. And again, this is not an exhaustive set of roles and responsibilities. The roles and responsibilities may vary from organization to organization. So before I move on to the roles and responsibilities, I want to give you a walkthrough of the life cycle of a project in any organization. There are 3 different stages. So the stage 1 is where you do initial contact and requirement gathering, from getting the clients to confirming that the client has purchased the order, the RFPs are signed, and then finally you move on to a stage where you are signing the deal. Stage 2 is where you are doing the project planning, because now the proposal is signed. You have to ensure, you have to prepare the project plan and how things would move forward. You have the design and development, where you design and develop the project that has been planned. And the final stage 3 is where you go back to the client, review all the design development work, and then move forward with the deployment and delivery. And after you're done with the entire stage 1, 2, 3, then you have a post deployment support and maintenance, where you have the operations team and all coming into picture. Now, let's transfer this into different roles and responsibilities. So on stage 1, you'll find people like pre-sales professionals around pre-sales and sales, where they directly interact with customers. Then you have project manager, solution architect, enterprise architect, On stage two, you have project manager, head of the department, head of IAM, directors, all of them getting involved. Then you have the IAM architect or product manager and the product manager parallelly managing the design and development. Stage three is where you have SSO lead, SSO manager, project manager coming into picture. And when you talk about the delivery part, you have the SME, consultant, engineers, operations teams, them managing the delivery, final delivery. Overall, this whole thing is being managed after it has been implemented and delivered by the analyst and operations team. So anyone who wants to aspire, they can start their journey as an analyst, as an operations, where they can expect to work on day-to-day operations activity, user issues. Then you move on to becoming an engineer, senior engineer, consultant, SMEs, move on to becoming a lead manager. So let's now deep dive into what are the different roles that the IM industry offers you. So the first role that you can aspire, and this is mainly for people who are new and they are trying to land into an IM job, are the business roles, right? So operations role, you have roles like on an operations side, you have roles like IM support member, PAM, then privileged support member, authentication support engineer, all these roles. And these support roles will be applicable in every domain that we just discussed, not just specific to IGA or IM. In any domain, you will need people to support you operational on the operational level. Next, from a hierarchy perspective, you can aspire to be a senior support member. Then you can be again a lead member. Then you can aspire to be a manager and grow from there. This hierarchy applies to the support member or a PAM support engineer or authentication support engineer or analyst. Okay, this hierarchy is applicable to every track that you may be working in. Now, let's move on to the engineering roles. So, on the engineering side, you will have again an IM engineer, AD engineer, PAM engineer. So, there are various roles in that. From a growth perspective, you can aspire to be a senior engineer, a lead senior engineer, and an engineering manager. That's how your growth curve can move forward. And this applies to IM engineer, ADL lab system engineer, PAM engineer, access management engineer, PKI engineer, any role that just tag the same with the different domains that we have discussed. Okay. But again, on the engineering roles also you have developers, because one side is you're integrating, the other side you're also developing. So under that IM developer, you have IM developer, cloud IM developer, IGA developer, PAM developer. And what should be the roadmap? They can be an IM developer, then an SD to lead SD manager. Same, it goes on. Same for other roles also. Okay. So now we are done with the engineering roles. Let's focus on the business roles. So what does business role means? It means professionals who are actually managing the day-to-day interaction with the client during the entire engagement process. For example, if you want to onboard an application and you would want to go talk to the application team, understand the requirement, gather requirements from them, pass that requirement on to the engineering team, to the developer team. Business analyst roles or business roles plays a major role in driving this whole world of the entire IM operations. You have IGA BA, PAM BA, Access Management BA, and this is a very critical role. People with basic knowledge of IAM, understanding of how things would work, and really good communication skill would be very helpful to apply for these roles. Then you have the product roles where you have IAM product manager, security product manager. Then moving on to security roles. Here, few organizations do have security analyst. Primarily, their job is to look at or be an intersection point between security and the IAM team. And gradually organizations are requiring these roles. And again, you can be an analyst, senior analyst, lead analyst, move from there. One of the important role that you have is of sales and pre-sales. Here you have a junior analyst, you have senior sales, lead sales analyst, and pre-sales, sales, very customer facing. sometimes during the sales cycle, sometimes pre-sales may be interacting during the sales cycle, may not be interacting during the sales cycle. And a lot of the times these roles been applied by MBA graduates. So this is another very important role that organizations are looking for nowadays. Then comes a key role, which is the HR. Now, why HR? Because even HR has a lot of categories around them. And currently, the requirement for cybersecurity or IAM, any HR that manages the entire cybersecurity world, whether it is the junior HR, senior HR, head of HR, is really one of the key requirements that I'm seeing. This summarizes today's session. I hope this was helpful to all of you. And in the next sessions, we'll talk about the fundamentals of IAM. If you have any queries, do drop it on the comment section and I'll try to make a video on that. Thank you. My name is Ravi and I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you in the next one.